So we're on page 10 in the yellow packet. We're talking about accumulation in real world stuff. It says graph of V, and V is a rate. So this is like a velocity right here. And did I give you units? Let's see. It says cable is being let out in meters per second. So this right here is meters per second. Over time, seconds. At time t equals 0, the balloon has an altitude of 10 meters. Too funny. Find the balloon's altitude at time t equals 540. Well, you guys aren't going to be able to see that, but I'm going to let you know that 540 is right here. This value right here is 540. And it looks like these are going up by 60s. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54. Great. So these are going up by 60s. Then these are going up by 10s. So over here we got 10, 20, 30. Okay. So you guys, if this is meters per second up here, and if I were to find the area of this trapezoid, let's talk about even units before I even put numbers in it. Area of a trapezoid is 1/2 the base is times the height. What would the base units be?
Time.
Yeah, seconds, right? So the base is, this would be 1/2 times seconds times, what would my height be in units? Meters per second. Are those seconds going to cancel out? Yeah, and I'm left with meters, and that's why they're asking what's the altitude. Find its height in meters. So that will get us some meters. Let's go, when you find that area under the curve, when you're given a velocity graph, it will give you the quantity or the position or the amount. So, okay, what are my bases?
540.
540 and
540 minus 180.
yeah, 6, 12, 18. 540 minus 180. 3.
360.
Perfect. Times my height? 50. Guys, can we end right there? Let's end right there. Happy Thursday to us. Happy Thursday to us. Okay, this one, I would imagine we're getting a calculator. Yeah, calculator active. Ceramic mug is moved from a pottery kiln. Whoo, that kiln is hot, 700 degrees. The temperature of the mug then decreases at this rate, where T is the number of minutes since being removed from the kiln. What is the temperature of the mug to the nearest degree Celsius? Oh, that's Celsius. Okay. At time T equals 10. Do we care that it started at 700 degrees?
No.
If I want to know my final temp. Yeah, I think that's important. 700, then what's happening to that temperature? It's decreasing. So we're going to subtract that. I'm not going to rewrite R of T. I'm just going to literally write R of T. I'm not going to rewrite that entire formula. And then what are my bounds going to be? Yeah, 0 to 10. Good job. You guys, let's go to our calc. We got to make sure that we're in radians, mode, radians, and I'm going to do 700 minus math 9, 0 to 10, and I really want to practice typing this one in, because how the heck do we do arctan?
Is that sine? It's tangent to the net. Yeah, it's negative 1 tan.
Exactly. Second tan, inverse tan.
Yeah, inverse tan.
You got it, buddy. That is hot.
It's 412.
Oh, I didn't even see that as multiple choice. Thanks, buddy. To the nearest degree Celsius will be 412. Good job. Okay, last two, and then we're going to get some other stuff going. Air gap, distance from the bottom of the bridge to the surface of the water. Never heard it called that. Under a bridge is changing at this rate. Would it make sense that the area under the air from the under the bridge to the water would change?
Yeah.
With the tide and things. Love that. So this is the rate that air gap is changing. Okay. At time t equals 13, the air gap is 62 meters. What is the air gap at t equals 15? Which expression can we use to solve it? Yeah. Oh, two of these look very similar.
Yeah.
Are you digging A or D?
Yeah, I'd say A.
Right, because we started at 62. Oh, yeah, wow, this one is funky. Coop, you say A.
Yeah.
And you're right, because they named this rate R. I was thinking that, oh, we should have the integral and the derivative cancel each other out, but it's whatever they named this rate. This technically is an r prime, if you will, because it's a rate, but we just have to use it with how they named it. Good job, Coop. Way to pay attention. Last one, you guys. Ooh, without a calc. This one's Ms. This is some good practice. Last one without a calculator. Velocity of a particle is given here. This is my velocity. If the particle is at x is 4 when t is 0, what is the position when t equals pi over 2? Okay, let's just do the setup. Okay, so here we go. How are we going to go from velocity to a position? I'm going to integrate sine of 2t. If we want that final, look, it's like, what is that final position? Do we care about where we started then? Yeah, right? We're going to say, all right, we started at 4. At t equals 0, what are my bounds going to be? Yeah, but here's why this question is a nuisance without a calculator. We got to integrate this. What's the derivative of my inner?
2.
So what do I have to use to integrate this? U sub. I've got to undo that chain rule, right? Gross, you guys. Let me remind you. We can't integrate this as easily as we used to because the derivative of my inner is not 1. Because it's not 1, we got to go U sub off to the side. Gross. Gross. If the U is that inner function, what's the derivative of U? 2 dt, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't need a 2 dt. I just need a 1 dt. So are we cool with dividing out that 2 and get 1/2 du is dt? Whew. Okay. So with that being said, I've got to rewrite this all in terms of u. So I would have, I'm going to actually drop the bounds. I don't feel like changing the bounds. You guys cool with not changing the bounds? Let's just drop them. So we'd have the sine of u. Oh, I forgot a 1/2, right? Instead of dt, instead of my dt, I'm going to have 1/2 du. Don't forget about your 1/2, okay, buddy? And then the sine of 2t will become the sine of u. Cool? We can do this, you guys. Antiderivative of sine. Whose derivative is sine? Negative cosine. So it would be negative 1/2 cosine of u. I just threw the negative out front. That constant just comes down. And now I'm going to go throw my u back in. My u was 2t. I'm here to tell you, u sub is annoying. If you can, find the derivative of the inner and just multiply by its reciprocal out front, you can always skip u sub. Do you agree the derivative of this inner was 2? The reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. It will always work out that way. So if we just start seeing that, I didn't want to tell you that. I mean, I've said that to you with the -1 before, but I'll just start reminding you of this, that you're like, oh, okay, I can just undo that chain rule. Because is this derivative going to get me what I started with? The derivative, you don't have to write this down, of negative 1/2 cosine, derivative of cosine, I bring down my constant. Derivative of cosine is a negative sine of my angle times the derivative of my angle. So I would get what I started with. So that's just a little shortcut of whenever you've got the derivative of the inner is not 1, just multiply by its reciprocal and you will have undone the chain rule without u sub. Okay, sorry, that was a lot. That was a big tangent. Let's go plug in my bounds now that we're back in terms of t's. I've got a 0 to a pi over 2, and I'm just going to remind myself I've got that 4 chilling. So I've got my 4 chilling. Then I got minus 1/2 cosine of upper bound. What's pi over 2 times 2 going to get me? Pi. Love that. That is saying 4 minus plugging in my upper bound, and then minus plugging in my lower bound. Minus
negative 1/2 cosine of 0.
Yeah, and unfortunately we got to solve that because it is multiple choice.
Well, we know that they're both going to be 1 and negative 1.
Negative 1 at pi and 1 at 0. So you're saying I got 4, and then if this is negative 1, what's negative 1? That's negative 1 times
Plus 1/2.
plus 1/2.
And then plus another 1/2.
Cosine at 0 is 1. Negative 1/2 times that 1 is negative 1 minus that negative. That's good. Final answer.
5.
Good job, Coop.